Okay, we are live now.
What? I'm not ready.
Today I am live with Bridget and her baby Bump.
Little baby boy.
And Annie, who you often see on the videos. She's fixing her hair. And we are going to talk about chores because I made a new chore chart. I put it on a whiteboard and put it in the kind of an entry wall between our laundry room and our kitchen. Someplace where people pass all the time, but it's close enough that I can like point out, hey, what's your chores? Here they are. Back in the day, we used to have chore charts on the walls in not the walls, the doors. The pantry door.
The pantry or the basement door?
Pantry and basement door. Are you gonna join us, Ellie?
Why? She's not in here.
She's not even in here.
Ellie's bringing us a sippy cup for the baby who's not in the room.
All right, so we had some questions about age appropriateness. Because the kids that are on this are all over the age of 12. Matthew's 12. He's almost 13. So these are big kids. But the
I don't know what to do with my hands.
she's not used to being on video. And really, this when you've seen now, we're the real deal. This is live, so it's
We're raw. We're human.
raw. Good word, raw. Good job. Okay, so I'm gonna raise her names.
Unpasteurized.
You guys, you remember this, guys, for when I have to redo this later, because they're gonna probably try and pull shenanigans on me.
You could let them pick their own chores.
You could have left their names and then written ages on the other
Well,
side.
that would be confusing,
Okay.
because I'm gonna bring the camera close so people can see what it says.
If we had a chore chart like this at my house, it would probably all say Bridget, 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 because my children are still very young. My daughter is 1, and my husband works a lot.
Yeah. So but you don't have the mess that
I don't have the mess that you have.
a 5-year-old, an 8-year-old, a 10-year-old, a 12-year-old, a larger family makes. So your day's coming.
It is.
Okay, so I'm gonna bring you closer so you can see what is on there right now. Let's see. Okay, so we have
So, unload dishwasher.
what's an age? Here's someone else right. I'll hold the camera. Unload the dishwasher. What's the youngest in age of a person can do on that?
On their own?
So something to keep in mind with this chore is what Mom did when we were all young is our dishes, the plates, the spoons, everything that we used regularly were placed in down low cupboards. So a younger child could reach them to put them away. So that is really relevant when we're talking about age for this chore. Because if you keep your plates up high, you need a tall child to do it. So if you're going to have a younger child do it, you need to do that rearranging to keep your plates and bowls and those regularly used items down low where they can reach.
True that. Another thing I did was divide it because we had a lot of children. Okay, so I had a lot of children. So 2 preschoolers would unload the dishwasher. One would do the top, one would do the bottom.
Yep.
Another thing is I never had them do knives. First of all, I never put big knives in the dishwasher. They were always a hand wash, out of reach. And then, say, steak knives, I would have them put all the knives point down.
Always.
And then they were not to do the knives. That was just, they didn't have to do knives. And I or someone older would come along and do the knives after they were done. So preschoolers can unload the dishwasher if it's appropriate. The dishes are appropriate.
Yeah. So that would be what, probably 4.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on up. Yeah, so. And a lot of it depends on the kid too. I mean, some 4-year-olds are super responsible and can handle that no problem. Another 4-year-old might not be ready for it yet. Maybe 5, maybe 6. Did you use lightweight plates so they could put them away in stacks? Yes, I love Corelle. Corelle is so easy to just grab and put in.
They
and
stack really nicely. They're lightweight and they don't break.
And they fit in the dishwasher really well.
Yes. Also, we use these wide plastic bowls too.
Oh, they're like almost like a salad bowl or a lunch bowl.
Yeah.
Whatever.
They're not plastic. They're melamine.
Didn't you get them from the Amish country store?
I did, but you can probably order them online.
Those
I
are
will.
Really nice.
I'll post that. I'll try to find a picture and a source and post that, because those are so handy for children. Okay, so moving on. Loading the dishwasher. What age is appropriate for that? That takes a little bit more skill and training in how to load it appropriately.
Because dishes have to be placed in the dishwasher so that they will come clean. If they go in wrong, they won't come out clean. And there's a little bit of almost like a Tetris mindset to it. So you almost like, if a child is old enough to do, say, a puzzle,
Yeah.
a little more complicated puzzle, then that probably shows that they could be ready.
Yeah. So I'm thinking 6.
I agree.
Especially if it's easy stuff like the dinner supper dishes. And so, sometimes it depends on your dishwasher too. I've had some dishwashers that were poorly designed, and you had to be real thoughtful about where. It was like a skill in learning where glasses fit, where different objects that you regularly use fit, and kids can learn that too. I mean, it's just another thing you learn to do. Okay, wiping tables and counters. Definitely a 4-year-old can do tables. We used to have a little bucket around. Do you remember that?
It was like a sand toy, I almost want to say. It was a little...
Annie, I know that was your chore when you were little. What? For a long time.
You had that little pink bucket and a sponge.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it was your job to wipe the
That
tables.
was a long time ago. I was probably 4.
Right. And then we also had rags for cleaning the floor. I had a pile of rags that were only not the table cloths, but for floor spills, because floor spills of course happen. And there was a bucket of those underneath the sink, and you would use the little pink bucket. Not necessarily you, but little kids would, and they would grab a floor cloth to wipe the floor when there were floor messes, because there's floor messes with kids every day. So definitely preschoolers can do that. So I would say wiping the tables 4+. Counters, that's a little bit higher, so it has to be a taller kid that wipes the counters.
And a lot of times those have a little bit stickier, tougher stuff from cooking.
And with the tables, I mean, the kid a lot of time would, get up on a chair, wipe what they could reach, move, wipe what they could reach.
Yeah, and there's already chairs around the table for them to do that.
We'd pull out all the chairs and just walk on them.
See, you do remember. Vacuuming. If you have a lightweight vacuum, a 4 or 5-year-old can do that too. On up. Just to make clear, I'm not encouraging slave labor of your kids. No, these are just regular chores that kids can learn and are capable of doing. And also chores, they build skills, they build confidence, and they promote the idea of I can do this, I can do these things, and that translates into other areas of life.
Well, and it's so important to learn these chores.
You need to get in the picture.
Sorry. It's so important to learn these chores while you are young, because I remember in college meeting friends who had no idea how to do these basic chores.
Like, they were just never allowed to or given chores.
Their mom just always did it.
Because they were afraid their kids would do it wrong.
Yeah, so then they get to college, they're living in an apartment or whatever, and they have no idea what or how to do to keep their living space clean. I can't remember how many times I had, friends that I knew predominantly male for some reason. And I remember getting these texts at 7 in the evening. So my kitchen is a disaster and my dishes are all moldy and we're having an inspection in like 2 hours. Can you come wash my dishes?
Wash your own dishes.
They didn't know what or how.
I remember
you talking about you were making Alfredo sauce.
Yes.
And okay, so Alfredo sauce is super simple. It's basically cream cheese, butter, and milk or cream.
Mm-hmm.
Really,
You just melt everything
some
together.
garlic,
and
maybe.
stirred up. Yeah, garlic. Okay, so I just remember you telling that you were making it, and no, your room, was it your roommate or your friend? She,
Probably my roommate.
Alfredo sauce comes out of a jar. No, it's so easy. And better, so much yummier when you make it from scratch.
I had that problem in college too.
Not that I
where
never,
I would always cook way too much because I was used to helping around the house here,
I still cook way too much.
especially spaghetti for some reason.
I just wanted to say I do buy Alfredo sauce in a jar sometimes, but it is easy.
Anyway,
Vacuuming. If you have a lightweight vacuum, 4 or 5 year old can definitely run the vacuum.
all right, 5+. Just because, in my experience, sometimes 4-year-olds are still scared of the vacuum.
Oh, that's true. Some of them are.
Some children are really terrified of the vacuum.
Yeah, that's a good point. Also, like I said earlier, it depends on the vacuum, and you also need to lower your standards. Done is better than perfect. We're not talking about we're cleaning the house because company's coming over.
Well, and sometimes you might have to go back and wipe the table over again, but your child at least got to experience how to do it.
They got
and
to try.
They'll continue to get better.
Yeah.
It'll take some time.
Yeah, practice makes perfect when you do it
Mhm.
all the time. And then sometimes they take so much ownership of the chore that they will get upset if someone else does a chore and they didn't do it up to that person's standards.
We had a brother that was very specific about how the table should be wiped. And if someone else did it and it
Or
wasn't done,
or like wiped it with too much soap and had soap bubbles, he'd get upset like, no!
he had his way of wiping the table, and if you didn't do it right or if there was a sticky spot, you were gonna hear.
Yeah. And
Um,
actually Matthew's like that too, about the table.
Speaking about soap bubbles, though, do we use non-toxic cleaners for the kids? What do you recommend?
Yeah. But I'm not gonna go nuts about it.
What did you
Yeah,
use?
Historically, just give us
dish
an
soap.
outline.
Just regular old dish soap. I like to have Dawn around because Dawn cuts grease.
Dawn, I've tried
I've
using
tried-
cheap soap and it sucks. I had
Exactly,
to
and maybe
explain to
part
my
of that
husband why
is
we have to buy
we've
Dawn.
always had hard water, and so Dawn always worked best for our hard water. If I didn't have hard water, I might have different opinions. And for the floor, same thing. I would use I don't know, 409 or something.
We had wood floors, so we would have a wood cleaner that we used when we mopped.
Yeah.
What was it?
I don't remember.
Oh my goodness.
It was a long time ago. I use Murphy's oil soap.
Oh, Murphy's. I was gonna say
yeah,
like
Murphy's.
I was gonna say Myers, but I was like, that's not right.
That's what I use. At
Right
my
now
wood.
there's what's that, Bona? What is that? That's what we have now to use on the floors.
Yeah.
It starts with
You used to have like a
and-
gallon jug of
Yeah,
wood
it was
soap, and we'd like
something.
pour a little into the cap and then fill
Yeah,
it
I
up
got
with
that
water.
from Don Aslet's. What's that catalog called? Cleaning Supply. Don Aslet's Cleaning Supply. I think so. There was a
Okay.
catalog, and you could buy it in bulk, and it was just handy for me to have things in bulk.
But we never used anything nasty or strong or.
No.
It was always appropriate.
Because water, just water alone cleans so much. Water. But yeah, for the tables, I just used dish soap.
When we used soap.
Yeah. Yeah.
It kind of depended on the kid whether they wanted to use soap or did use soap or not.
On the table.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on.
I'm sorry, I can't remember very well that part.
What age do you have kids take
Trash,
out
they have to be able to lift it up out of the can and take it to the trash cart, dumpster, whatever you put your trash in. That's an older
And
Trash bags
it's
are
kind
usually
of, they can be heavy.
It can get heavy, so I'm gonna say 10.
I was gonna say 10.
I was gonna, yeah, 10 plus.
Simply because of
You have to be tall enough and strong enough.
yeah. And that doesn't, I mean, younger kids can go around and collect, because the
little
buddy
trash
did
cans.
that.
Yeah, it was a buddy chore, because some of those chores were buddy chores.
Yeah, so the buddy would go around and do get the small trash bags out of small cans, and then the big kid would get the big bag and take it out.
For anyone unfamiliar with what a buddy is, all of us older children were usually paired up with a younger child, and we would take the younger child along with us for a lot of our chores and, shopping day. They were our responsibility, different stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay, afternoon chore time. This is where, okay, so this is how our house is divided right now.
Meal chores and afternoon chores.
And afternoon
Which,
chores.
that's pretty typical to how it was when we were growing up, too, when all of us were in the house.
Yeah. There's one on here I forgot. There's something's not on this list.
Washing the dishes.
Washing the dishes.
Washing the dishes, because right now my husband likes to wash dishes, and he's been doing it every night.
Well, and a lot of
Which
times
is
growing
new.
up, you would wash the dishes because there was a lot of big dishes from a large
Big.
family.
Like big,
Or the
too,
sharp
too big and
dishes.
awkward
Sharp
for
knives.
little kids.
Just, awkward things. Plus, it was higher up, so it's hard for little kids to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we had a lot of stoneware,
And then plus,
too.
I was there to monitor the kids. If I was there washing the dishes, I was there monitoring their chores.
Making sure we actually did them.
Yeah, that. That everyone was present that should be
President.
present.
Everyone was president.
No, I'm the president. I'm the mom. Okay, so then afternoon chore time. This is how we had it divided, or have it divided now, which is really similar to the way it was when they were kids. Mudroom, laundry room, kitchen, west room. That's just the west room in our house. Sunroom. That's the room we're in right now. Front room, front porch, deck, garage. Real similar to that. Sometimes there'd be the stairs, because stairs collect so much dirt and dust.
They do. It
really
was
do.
stairs and entryway.
That was part of the. Where is it?
Front room.
Okay,
which
front
we
room.
usually call it the living room.
Yeah, you know what? I need to add that, because the person who's assigned that is probably gonna try and get out of the. Okay, so I'm gonna write downstairs. Okay.
I love her handwriting just there. Super legible.
Okay, so back in the day, we would do buddies, and this is completely dependent on the size of your family. If it's just you and two kids, I would say just take them along with you and do each room.
Have them help.
Have them help do each room. Right now, we're cleaning the mudroom, and spend 5 or 10 minutes in the mudroom. It depends on your house and how dirty each room is. I mean, some of these are not a big chore. If you don't ever use your front room, it's not going to be dirty. I mean, you might pop in there and see,
That's why that room was always super easy to clean.
see a little bit of
That was
clutter.
my job.
It was your job. How'd you get that easy job?
I don't know, because I always had the youngest child.
You need
buddy.
to pop in when you're going to talk.
I always had the youngest kid, like Matthew or Ellie, as my buddy, and it was a real easy to clean room to clean with a very small child.
That's true, with a very small child. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Plus, the West room was always a mess, so usually everyone helped with that.
Because in the West room in our house was either a family room or a school room. And right now, it's a dining room and a living room.
It's just always been a really well used room in our house. This is where we spend time. It's where we make messes.
Yeah. So it was one that, we would gather together and everyone would help.
Well, because it's one of the biggest rooms and we're a big family.
Let's see.
Okay, so are we going to talk about ages, or what's our point here?
I think the point here is, if you have a big family, buddy your people up and give them a room. If you have just a couple of children, I would do it together until they were old enough to take it on by themselves. If they were, let's say you have someone who's 10 years old and he loves to hang out in your sunroom and he thinks of it as his spot, and he wants to be responsible for cleaning the sunroom. Oh, let him do it, let him have that responsibility. because that was the other thing. I would let them choose which room they wanted to. And, you know, there would be some negotiation and some compromise, but generally they would choose the rooms that they wanted to. Like right now, Ellie wanted to have the kitchen because she likes to cook. She likes the kitchen to be nice and neat and clean. So she wanted that to be her room. I think mostly so she can boss everybody else around and tell them, clean the kitchen, do your chores. This is a mess. Get in here and get, you know, Ellie. She'll do that.
Takes charge.
She takes charge. She's our take charge girl, and she likes to cook. So she's gonna make sure that kitchen is clean so she can cook in it. Not that she doesn't clean up after herself, because she does. She does a good job of it because she likes it clean. Okay. All right. Then down here at the bottom, I wrote down my Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I don't know if you can see that.
Which assigned days of the week you did.
Okay. I don't know if you can see it, but anyway, Monday. This is our plan for now. Monday is the laundry room. Tuesday's office day. Wednesday kitchen day, which sooner or later we're gonna start doing a little cooking video on kitchen day. Are you gonna come on Wednesdays? That would be
Probably.
fun. That would be fun.
Wednesday's a good day.
Thursday.
Especially if it's kitchen day, because then Ellie's going to make something yummy.
Yeah, she made cinnamon rolls today. And cookies.
Because I told her to.
And they made Dutch puff for lunch. Dutch puff is traditionally breakfast food, but they made it for lunch. Or maybe it was brunch. I have a lot of teenagers, so
They
Then
sleep in.
they sleep in. We have to go rouse them up. Thursday's town day, Friday cleaning day, Saturday garden day. Okay, so let me clarify something on garden day. When I say garden day, that means it's like a focus day, like we're gonna focus on it. That doesn't mean gardening doesn't happen the rest of the week, because when you have a garden, you go out when it's not raining. So if it's raining and cold and not pleasant outside, you don't want to spend a couple hours out there. And you can't weed in the mud. Okay, so you got to work with the weather. So gardening, that happens anytime. A question I got asked recently was someone not feeling hesitant about doing social events or making commitments when they have already committed, say kitchen day is Wednesday, and they get invited to do something on Wednesday, but they don't want to do the thing because they've already have this kitchen day plan. You know, that kind of thing through the week, you know. They don't want to, they're torn. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Did I say that clearly?
Yeah.
So what I did was go do the fun thing, and then if I had a big day planned, I would move it to the next week. So let's say I wanted to have a big kitchen day where I wanted to put a whole bunch of stuff in the freezer. I would just move that to the following week, and then go do the fun thing. Maybe, or shrink it, shrink whatever I was doing to not being a huge project, but more smaller projects that I could do before we left. Or, sometimes you can throw stuff in the crock pot and then come back and it's done.
And having that flexibility is super important, because if you're going to be rigid about these things, then you're not going to have a life.
No.
And you want to have fun. You want to let your kids experience other things. And so that's where, being flexible and allowing yourself that grace on those days really plays in to your quality of life.
Right. And some of the things you can aren't huge, and you can let's say you get invited to do something Friday, and Friday is typically your cleaning day. Well, you can, those cleaning day chores on your afternoon chore time, you can just step it up on the other days of the week. Or you can do it all on Saturday if you want to. Or you can just say, well, we're not going to do cleaning this week. Next week, we're going to have to do an extra good job of cleaning. Yeah, don't get Bridget.
Yeah, so we have a question. Did you ever move around your kitchen day based on when the weather was nicer? For instance, if you wanted to bake a lot, so maybe you moved kitchen day to the coolest day of the week.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Definitely.
For sure.
Yeah. Because we live in the Midwest and we farm and we garden, our life revolves around the weather here. When we lived in Idaho, it didn't.
Because it was dry and it was nice.
It was high
Almost
desert
all the time.
and it didn't rain very often. I mean, they irrigated. It was different.
Yeah.
We never watched the weather.
So really it depends on your climate, whether
Yeah.
or not you need to do that. If you live somewhere where the weather is a big factor like that, absolutely move your days around.
That we did that. Let's see. The one thing I never because a lot of times there isn't. This was the first year that actually the last 2 years was the first time that we've had Monday. The kids' school co-op stuff was on Monday last year when we were in Missouri, and this year in Iowa we had busy Mondays, and in my head Monday has been laundry day forever.
It's hard to do that when you're not home all day.
It is, but the good thing is that the kids are older and they were doing their own laundry, so they would do their own laundry when their own dirty laundry got piled up. They would do laundry. They were also motivated to have clean clothes. I mean, just because they're older kids, they were more responsible about it.
You get
and
older, you get
motivated.
more involved in that.
Yeah.
I remember doing that as a teenager. I started doing my laundry separately, and I hated digging through everyone else's laundry to find my things.
That's what they say. They hate digging through other people's stuff trying to find their clothes.
Yeah.
So that's probably what.
That's a big motivating factor.
That's probably why the teenagers are motivated to do that.
Well, plus you get, nicer pieces of clothes or stuff that
Yes.
you need washed separately or differently, and that's not going to happen when it's mixed in with everyone else's.
Yeah.
And you don't like it when your clothes get ruined.
No. I mean, I have a section of dirty clothes of my own that is clothes that I don't want washed with the work clothes, I don't want.
Well, and I'm sure over the years you've had to learn the hard way how many things got ruined by
Yes.
accidentally getting mixed in with
Absolutely.
everyone else's laundry.
But yeah,
Well, especially when you have younger kids helping with the laundry and they don't know how to handle those delicates.
right. So that was just always on me. If I wanted stuff washed separate, that was on me, not the whole house laundry. But there's a lot of years where kid laundry can just get thrown together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, because kids don't usually have as many delicate items.
No, I mean t-shirts and jeans, or sweatpants, or yeah.
And if you did have nice stuff, it was usually, our church clothes or town clothes, and that was usually handled separately anyway.
Yeah. Their church clothes, they would put them on before they went to church, like right before, and then as soon as we got home before they had lunch, they had to go take those off, and if they were still clean, I would just hang them up. If they had some sort of snack at church and they got it dirty, well, then I was really motivated to get those clean first thing on Monday and hung back up in the special section of church clothes.
Mm-hmm. I remember you always had to get the boys' church pants right away and spray them because they would play after church and get grass stains.
Yes.
Play football after church.
I can't remember how many times I heard you getting on
Yes.
the boys about grass stains on their church pants.
On their
Yes.
khakis.
And yeah, so I'd have to spray them right away, put this spot treat on them after church. All right, did we hit it all?
I think so.
Did you ever move around? Okay, we already
Yeah,
answered that one.
We
Yeah.
answered our questions.
Okay. All right, if you have any other questions, if we didn't talk clearly about something, or
If there's anything we didn't cover, or if you have more questions that we didn't cover on chores and age
Yeah.
appropriateness,
Or if you would like us to talk about something specific to your life, shoot us a message.
yeah, because I have a little list going now. Bridget, talk about the menu plan.
oh yes. So, just this week I loaded up a 1-week menu plan for summer lunches on the website. You should be able to find it pretty easily. It's one of our most recent posts. Sorry, I just started talking really fast.
Love to do that.
I know, I don't know why. Menu plan on the blog. The recipes are super simple. So A, they're easy for you if you're a busy mom, and B, if your child can use a knife and the stove or oven, they can do the recipes. So this is a menu plan where not only does it make your life simpler, but you can get the kids involved and they can help take on some of that lunchtime responsibilities. So
what are the recipes? They're salad recipes.
there is 1 or 2 salad recipes, including a Tex-Mex salad. There is, I'm trying to think, there's, what do you call your bean recipe? It's like a cowboy beans.
Cowboy beans.
There's quesadillas. There's grilled, 2 different kinds of grilled sandwiches, I believe, which are always a good lunch. Simple, easy summer lunch recipes. And what I love about menu plans, because I hate deciding what to make every meal, especially if I haven't prepared or thought about it ahead of time. I just love that you have the list, you have the recipe, it's all included, it tells you what to make, and that's it. No extra thinking goes into it.
Yeah, love that.
Yep.
That's why I like menu plans.
It takes off that mental load because us moms have enough to think about already.
Right. And just so you know, I have folders full of menu plans that I've used over the years because you get kind of tired of a menu plan and then you make a new
rotate
one.
them. So we're working on getting more out.
More menu plans.
Currently
So-
working on a 1-month supper menu plan. So get excited about that one.
And that one is like home style food, isn't it?
It
Just
is
like comfort food?
It's comfort foods.
Yeah. So that'll be a good one to get up. All right, thank you for joining us, and we will be back again tomorrow at 4:00.
Thank you.